From San Antonio, Texas, home of the Alamo, the Riverwalk, and the World Heritage San Antonio Missions, this is the ExitMap Podcast, hosted by John F. Dini, the exit planning coach. Designed to help advisors who work with business owners, John talks with top professionals in the exit planning field about best practices, marketing tips, and how to be more effective when working with owners. Now, here's John F. Dini.
Hi, and welcome to the ExitMap Podcast. I'm the exit planning coach, John F. Dini, and I am your host for this podcast. And my guest today is Amanda Bussa. Amanda is the managing partner and the co-founder of Bussa Financial Partners. She works with her husband, John. She specializes in guiding business owners through the transition from ownership into retirement and has done that since the start of her career, which is very unusual. Usually one of the questions we ask in this is, how did you get involved with business owners? But you started on day one.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, before I even read the rest of your bio, somewhere in there I've got a fit that your day one was 9/11. Which was pretty astonishing. I don't know if your timing was impeccable. Amanda is a certified business exit consultant from the International Exit Planning Association, IEPA. She's also, of course, a certified exit map coach. And she was honored just recently, I guess it was October when the conference was in Boston, with the Award for Excellence in Exit Planning Achievement by the IEPA. She's an active runner, cyclist, competitive soccer player, and enjoys skiing with her family in the Colorado condo. She has 2 children who are both also involved in sports, and Amanda volunteers with the Guidance Center and Leader Dogs for the Blind. I don't know that one. I can tell from the title what they do, but that's great. So makes a big impact on the community. Amanda, welcome. Thank you for coming on, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. Thank you.
So, first question. Your decision to work with business owners was early on, like day one.
Day one.
How did that happen? Because that's pretty unusual.
Truthfully, it was the broker-dealer I chose to go to work with right out of school. And their marketplace was business owners, right? Doing financial planning in 4 key areas, estate planning, who gets what and when, business succession planning, wealth accumulation, and risk management. And so that was their niche, and I identified with that right away. So business planning has just always been a part of my core values since day one. Truthfully, I just didn't know any better. So that was that was something I kind of fell into just by affiliation of the broker dealer in the beginning.
Oh, great. And financial planning straight out of school is fairly unusual. At least it was unusual 20 years ago.
Yes.
Maybe more common today. What led you to that?
So I went to a school that is really well known for business. They don't have a lot of liberal arts. They don't have a lot of medical or science, which again, as we spoke briefly before, medicine, with my mom being a nurse for over 30 years, was not in my wheelhouse. So I always knew I wanted to do something, whether it be in business or accounting. And fortunately I knew that kind of early on, just by process of elimination of what I didn't want to do. And so the school that I went to is Northwood University. And my major was a dual major in banking and finance with a minor in accounting. And how I found the broker dealer was between my junior and senior year. I interned at the broker dealer, but one of my professors at school was an agent of the broker dealer too, teaching us estate planning and investment review. So, I got exposed to the financial services models pretty early on at the college level.
Wow.
So, and it was that professor who ended up being my mentor. I worked with him when I was not in soccer season. I worked with him at his office, and he'd spend a lot of time. And he said, "I really think you'd be good at this job, or at this career path." But going back to the Detroit area, they're really well known for their training and will teach you how to say the right things to say to a business owner, how to say it, and find those coordination gaps or missed opportunities in their current planning to get you in the door.
Great. Well, that's got to be flattering too, to have a professor pick you out of the class and say, I think you should work with us.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And again, I went to school in South Florida. It was a really nice welcome break from growing up in Michigan in the cold weather. We've got a winter frost going on right now. It's
Hmm.
a balmy 19 degrees, feels
Oh
like 8.
gosh.
So going to college in Florida for 4 years was not a bad idea. Again, but having that professor look at me and say, I think you'd be good at this, but you should go back. He wasn't recruiting me to come and work for him. He identified the character traits or flaws, let's be honest, to be good, working in financial services. So coming back to Detroit, I interned with the broker dealer between junior and senior year, and then right afterwards came back and got on a contract and passed all my tests and got started.
Great.
First day, September 11th, 2001.
Wow. Uh, yeah, I'm sure you got a lot of great reception on the phone that day.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But as I like to say, yeah, that mentality of never giving up, learned it pretty early, pretty often. I think that's probably a trademark of being a lifelong athlete, enduring a lot of pain. That's another trait of being a long distance runner, but never giving up and seeing it through. I think that's maybe what that professor identified early before I was even sure of it.
Hmm. Well, we, especially in IEPA, we have the conversation about exit talkers and exit doers.
Mhm.
People that actually dive into the planning. And you have an approach talk. And, we
Yes.
talk to an awful lot of especially financial advisors, and a lot of them in the camp of the talkers don't know how to get started with a client. I mean, that's what we use
Yes.
Exit for, obviously. What's your approach talk about?
So again, that was something that uh, the broker dealer is no longer in existence. We got bought out, so I'm not I'm not here as a promotion for that, but do feel very fortunate for have learned it. And the approach talk is basically starting with somebody to say, hey, I know you have stuff done in any of those 4 key areas. Again, estate planning, succession planning, risk management, and wealth accumulation. But having them done and done as well as possible could really be a gigantic difference in a lot of people. So we are brought in and just start asking them a couple of questions about what they have, how it's titled, that kind of thing, and take a look at their overall stuff from like a 30,000 foot view. And because we are able to do it not just from a succession planning piece of it, or a tax planning piece of it, or investment planning piece of it, but just kind of taking a look at things overall, and it allows us to identify something what we call like coordination gaps or missed opportunities. So when you start talking with someone and they own a business and they have a partner in the business, and that they have a buy sell, and the buy sell is X amount of years old, but they have young Johnny coming up in the business, and their ultimate goal is to get that child excuse me, what am I trying to say, ownership But
Hmm.
we say, well, how does it happen if you were to leave us prematurely? How does your kid end up with the business when you have this buy sell? Right? And they go,
Yeah,
uh-huh. So just having that first conversation and the approach talk is basically what we were learned and trained on to walk them through our process and ask those questions, kind of gathering data, not specifics, but generalities in the beginning, right? Until they hire us, but to identify those coordination gaps and make them start thinking, maybe, yeah, I do have buy sell, that's great, but again, having it done and having it done as well as possible could be a big difference, whether
sure,
it be, objective wise or monetarily wise or a combination of both.
sure. Yeah, one of my favorite openings to correct wrong thinking is when they say, "Well, I know what my company is worth because my CPA told me what all companies like mine sell for."
Yeah. Oh,
Right. Yeah.
bless your heart.
Yes. Yes. Could he lend me that book, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Talk about generalities. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take a break right here so we can pay for the podcast. We're going to do a quick promotional announcement for ExitMap. And then when we come back, I'd like to ask about your marketing.
The fastest way to lose a client is to treat the exit as the finish line. The surest way to keep one? Make what's next part of the plan long before any transaction. ExitMap changes everything and turns next step planning into your strongest retention tool. ExitMap is the only structured discovery system built to be the first step in every advisory relationship. The 5-meeting process helps advisors guide owners through the essentials of successful transition planning: financial readiness, business readiness, and personal readiness, so they gain real clarity about what life looks like after the business. You guide the process by facilitating deeper conversations. They own the plan by discovering their own priorities and defining what success truly looks like. The result? A documented set of goals, a personal vision, and a prioritized action plan. Built by the client, giving them clarity about their future and giving you a roadmap for supporting it. ExitMap. You guide it, they own it. Take a test drive at exitmap.com.
Okay. All right. We're back with Amanda Bussa, the founder and CEO, co-founder with her husband, John, and managing partner of Bussa Financial Planners in Michigan. Where in Michigan? You keep talking about Detroit, but you're not actually in Detroit.
Not in Detroit. We are just about 12 miles northwest outside of the city in Southfield, Michigan.
Oh, Southfield. Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't been up there much, but I have been. I know that you can't be born and raised in South Detroit, like the song says, because there is no
No,
South Detroit.
that would be Canada. That would be
Yeah,
Pincer.
right.
We love to correct them all the time, but fun facts about Detroit, when you are there, it is the only place in the United States where Canada is south of us.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's pretty
Yep.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
back, come back for more useless information by Amanda.
Well, I was thinking when you said it was 19 degrees up there today, most folks don't, we're in San Antonio, of course, and most people don't realize that latitude-wise, San Antonio is about 700 miles south of Tijuana. So,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah, we
Yeah.
don't we don't do 19 degrees well.
Well, truthfully, John, neither do I. Neither do I. But for some reason, several decades ago, my parents decided to locate here. And this is where I was born and raised. Like I said, I skedaddled out of here for college, but because came back because this is a glutton for punishment. So we have a great airport and you can get out of here and get to about anywhere pretty easily. So
Yeah, yeah, that is I've connected through Detroit any number of times, sure.
yeah.
Um, so we had talked a bit when we were offline about this, marketing for new clients.
Mhm.
How do you, what is your process for marketing?
So I find that my best clients come from my current clients, right? So
Hmm.
we ask for referrals because generally, if they're a good family and business person, my clients are hanging out with them,
Yeah.
right? And so we ask them, but we're very upfront at the beginning of a relationship that says, you know, this is one of the ways that I'm compensated is through your act of goodwill. I don't ask them for those referrals until they see me go through the trenches and we build out that plan for them in one of those four areas. Again, focusing on exit planning, but once you know, it's a real personal process, and once they get to know me,
It
we
is.
get to know them. Um, they're really like, "Hey, Amanda, that was you made that as painless as possible. You made me think, I've accomplished my goals. I think you should talk to my buddy John down the street.
Mhm.
I don't expect you to know what they're worth. I'd rather you didn't. But if you could open a door to an introduction that way and let me do what I do, that's all I'm asking for, right? So I generally find my best clients come from my best clients. Alternatively, centers of influences as well. Um,
Sure.
those CPAs and attorneys that we again have gone to battle with, uh, not against, but with. We're on the same side
Hmm.
of the ledger here, and they say, "Oh wow, I didn't realize um, this or this," and or you brought up some valid points, and after 24 years of being in this business, there are several great relationships that I've been able to cultivate over the years. And from there, we have worked on great mutual clients and have opened the doors to tons of different other great clients. So I would say referrals and center of influences for me. Again, not afraid to pick up the phone. The first day I did it was September 11th, 2001. It can't get any worse, right?
Right.
So I'm not,
It's all
I'm not
downhill
a,
from there. Yeah.
yeah, right. I mean, truthfully, you look back and you're like, man, that really sucked. But now you look back and you're like, that can't get any worse. So, not afraid to get to pick up the phone. However, I do generally find that they come from current clients and centers of influences but yeah, ask too, right? Like,
Yeah.
who
Sure.
do you know who? I
Sure.
don't expect to just sit back in my big fluffy chair here and say, I really hope John tells me, 10 of his friends' names. No, you got to actively promote that. And we do a lot of work on our social media handles too,
Hmm.
LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook for the business. So,
Yeah. Um, what would you talk about your best clients coming from your best clients. What does a best
mhm.
client look like?
Well, the people that are open and honest about what their goals are, right? In any one of those four areas. When they're, at the beginning of the process, then during the process, they ask good questions. They're open to learn and to be educated. Um, and I would say that that's my biggest part of this is to educate a client on the pros and cons of any particular idea or recommendation that I may have for them. And they're not afraid to challenge the assumptions. So it's not Amanda barking at them or telling them what they should do. It's an open collaboration between the two of them. So, open, honest, available to be vulnerable. And then, once the plan's delivered, we stay together through implementation, accountability. When we first start this process, we tell them we're looking for a long-term relationship. And truthfully, that I'm very fortunate to have had a ton of clients that I've been with for 12, 14, 16 years, right?
Mhm.
So, I feel very fortunate for that. So open, honest, transparent, the ability to go back and forth, right? I want to be challenged. I want them to feel good because if they understand uh, the recommendation I put in place and it's supported by their team, the attorneys and the CPAs that we get to work with, um, if everybody's saying yes, you should do this, and these are the 5 reasons why, they generally will implement those particular ideas. So, an ideal client would be somebody that's open and transparent and vulnerable and trustworthy.
Okay. Now, you mentioned it, and correct me if I'm mistaken. You don't do value enhancement work, right? You don't do
I
hands-on
don't.
business consulting. What do you do for that? What do you do when there's a value gap, when there's a shortfall for the client? What kind of person do you send them to?
Well, through the relationship at the IEPA, which, with the International Exit Planning Association, a small plug for them. I've been really fortunate with working in that association because, we can't be everything to everyone, right, John? Like
Right.
we can't, we just can't. There's just not enough time in the day. And so reaching out to the association and finding someone, there's a gentleman named Ken, and he has a really great program. There's other that look for valuation enhancements. He can go in and get a company turned around in a particular time frame. So that would be something that I would reach out and phone a friend for.
Hmm. Yeah, it
So
takes a village.
it really
Yeah.
does. It
As you
really
as
does.
I'm certified in all three organizations,
Hmm.
and that's if they agree on anything, that's the one thing they all agree on. That
Yeah.
nobody could do it all.
No, and honestly, I don't think a client would expect you to, right? Because you can't be good at everything. You just can't.
Right.
There's something, and it's okay like that. I'm very transparent. Hey, I'm not sure that's my wheelhouse, or I'm not sure the answer to that question, but I'll find it, right? And that's just building out your community after the past 24 years of centers of influences and associations, and the different partnerships that you establish and build out, those trusting relationships, then you bring somebody else in. So
Yeah, it's funny in San Antonio. It's gotten a lot better. I've been in San Antonio now for close to 30 years, and when I came here, it was about 900,000 people, and now we're about 2.3 million. So
hmm.
we've seen the consulting market grow
Sure.
and get more sophisticated. Because when I first came here, and still to some extent, I'll have a banker or somebody call me and say, I've got a referral for you. He needs this or that. He needs sales enhancement or marketing help or something. And I say, well,
Sure.
I don't do that. And they say, well, but you're a business consultant. I'm saying, yeah, but, you know,
Yeah.
it-
That's
be,
such a widespread word,
right,
right? Just
right.
like financial advisor.
Sure.
And that's what drove me to get my CBEC, or my certified business exit consultant, because again, I'd been working with business owners since the beginning. And there's a lot of financial advisors or planners or whatever, insert adjective here, that say they work with business owners, and they don't, right?
Right.
And I'm like, no, you don't. And they're like, hey, Amanda, what do you do? I work with business owners. Well, prove it. Like, what do you have that says that you do? And I'm like, because I told you. That doesn't work. It doesn't work for my kids. So it certainly doesn't work for adults or business owners. So that's what drove me about 5 or 6 years ago to get my CBEC, to say, hey, I do work in this marketplace, and I did take this master's level coursework to get through that.
Mhm.
Again, using the exit map too, right? I use the exit map. It's a great thing. Well, okay, how do you use it? Well, went through and got my designations through there,
Mhm.
being the PIMA and the certified exit map coach now, to say, yeah, I I'm talking the talk, but I'm also walking the walk by getting those particular designations to separate myself from the herd.
Yeah, as I've gone through my career, which is a lot lengthier than yours, I've discarded more certifications than I show,
Yeah,
It's just because every time I've gone to do something, I've wanted to know how to do it well.
correct. Me too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. If I'm going to spend the time, money, energy, effort away from the business or my kids or whatever, I'm going to dive headfirst in and make sure I understand it truthfully, and fully. And so, that's where I think a lot of the designations, in the beginning never really spoke to me because I was too busy trying to get in front of people and
Hmm.
actually do the stuff instead of being on paper, right? But that's because I also just had come straight from school. So I'd been in the learning classroom. I wanted to hit the streets and get busy actually doing, not just talking about it.
Sure. Well, and that's my wind up question is usually what your advice would be to a new uh, planner of any sort, advisor of any sort, when they want to get into business owner exit planning. But I think you've said it already. Go get the training.
Get the
You know.
training, get
Yeah.
involved, join what you can. I joined the IEPA, I got my CBEC, I joined the IEPA. That's how I found the exit map, right?
Hmm.
And I've been a proud user of the exit map for I I mean, you would probably know the data, but over 3 years,
Yeah.
I believe. And getting on the brain trust calls or getting on the monthly calls just to stay abreast and apprised of what's happening in the exit planning community, and staying fresh to it. Again, I'm not going to know every little thing. I mean, there's people out there that niche market do ESOPs all day. I
Hmm.
don't want to. I don't want to be an ESOP specialist. I just don't. But getting involved and getting, learning more about our business or, that sleeve of the business,
Hmm.
I know where to turn to when somebody wants to do that particular type of planning, right? If we have business valuation software that we use because I think it's the key part of their overall plan,
Hmm.
is because their business is their largest asset generally in their entire personal portfolio. And so, we know what that is, but if they need to retire with X and their business value is Y, and we need to get it up here, that's when we turn and say that's where we have to find somebody that's going to help us grow those valuation margins to get you to live happily ever after,
Right.
right? I'll
Right.
identify the issue. I might not have the skill set to be able to get to that recommendation, myself, but I will certainly find a partner that can help us get to the goal
Right.
line. So
Right.
I think it's collaborative.
It is. It is. And if somebody wants to collaborate with you as we wind up here,
Mhm.
why don't you give us the website and the phone number in case they're listening in the car or something uh,
Yes.
and they need to jot it down.
Yes,
So,
it's bussafinancialpartners.com. That's Bussa financialpartners.com. I'm Amanda.Bussa at bussafinancialpartners.com. I know it's a little bit clunky, but once it's already in your email system, then I'll keep popping up whether you want me to or not. And you can give me a call anytime at 810-610-6314. And I'm happy to take calls or, learn more or collaborate with people because that's what this business is all about is learning from one another and growing together. So I got a lot of
yeah.
runway left. I mean, I couldn't I couldn't wait to say that I had, 5 years or 10 years in the business. Now I'm at 24 and I'm like, 24 years. I started when I was 12. I'm a child prodigy.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My wife and I have been married for 51, and
Oh,
I
congratulations.
thank you. I tell people that she was betrothed to me prenatally.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I know. That's a good husband, John. Keep it up,
yeah.
buddy. That's probably why you've been married for 51 years.
Probably.
Yeah.
Amanda Bussa, it has been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Me
Have a
too.
terrific day,
Thank
and
you.
I look forward to seeing you at the next conference.
Me too. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Have a great
Take care.
day.
You
Stay
too.
warm.